Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this, the first installment on a new challenge here on FS25 with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, we are back here on Riverbend Springs, and you may be wondering, why would I start a challenge on Riverbend Springs when I'm already doing a Let's Play on there? Well, that's because this is nothing like Let's Play. This is a long-haul challenge called Can You Survive FS25 by Crust2 and Rusty Money Gaming. And the basic premise of this is to play a base game map for the entire duration of the lifespan of FS25 with the ultimate goal of hitting like 1,500 hours during that time. So obviously I'm not going to be making content on this map for this challenge consistently over that length of time. So there's just going to be updates that come out when anything of significant happens, and to keep you updated with how the challenge is going over the course of FS25. Now, there is more to it than just, playing 1,500 hours on here. During that time, we need to build up 3 unique farms that supports one at least production related to that farm. And the idea is only that farm will supply product to that production. For example, if we had a dairy farm and owned a dairy, only that farm would bring milk to the dairy. If we had a sheep farm and a spinnery, only that sheep farm would bring wool to the spinnery, and so on. So each farm must have its own unique production, but it is not limited to just one. So if you had a sheep farm, for example, you could add a tailor to that farm. Now, each farm must also have a house, a silo, at least 2 sheds, and 1 buildable object on it. So over the course of the 3 years, we need to complete those 3 farms. Other than that, there aren't a lot of other restrictions. No government subsidy signs can be used, and you have to do either normal or hard economy. But other than that, you can set the game up any way you want. So what I have done is my setup is pretty much like it is actually on my Let's Play. One notable exception is we're going to run hard economy. We're on half times right now. Actually, we can bump that up. We'll bump it up to real time now, because I'm going to run real time for the month of August, and then we're on 3-day months. And for going forward, I'll jump it up to 3 times. Everything is turned on like it often is when I play, and all the worker stuff here is turned off. And other than that, it's just that's that simple. Nothing else as far as setup goes. I think that is the basics. Oh, no. So we're starting with 500,000. I'm starting the way that Crust2 and Rusty Money Gaming are going to be starting. Start from scratch. So I have 500,000, and if we go in here and look, we will see I also have finances, $250,000 worth of debt. And if we look at vehicles, I don't own any. And if we look at the map at farmland, don't own any of that either. So I've got that $500,000 to turn into 3 farms over the course of the next 3 years, or however long FS25 is current. So that is what we're up to. Now, my original plan was there is a nifty little house right, where is that sucker? Right here on the map. Now, it's on property you can't buy. It's a nice little house down here by the river, and my plan was to actually rent that house for $1,000 a month to get started. But then I realized I would not have a sleep trigger, and that could be an issue. And I don't think there's don't see any random one just available on the map. Actually, you know what? Let's jump to the start farm. Is the sleep trigger still available there? Let's run around. Never did check that. Oh, you know what? It is here. Now, is it available for us to use? It is. Okay. Nice. I didn't think of that. When I realized I couldn't have a sleep trigger, I went to a plan B, but now I can go back to plan A. Nice. So let's go back. Now, that's, I'll show you something nifty that's new to FS25. It's nothing new that we could jump to sell points or like our home point, but if we go and look, we can actually visit or jump to plots of land. So that's really cool. And actually, let's jump to this because I'm going to buy this plot of land. That's what I'm going to start with. And you can see that we've got an old shed there that actually it would be usable, but it's actually in the bad spot for what I have planned. And there's another one. Where is it? Oh yeah, down over the hill. So what I'm going to do is I am going to sell these two sheds once I buy this property. And where this shed is, well, heck, you know what? Let's just buy that property now. Then we can. Nice. What we're going to do then is let's go into construction mode. And I want to sell both of those. So sell that one. I don't want it. And we'll sell that one. I don't want that. Perfect. Actually, we'll zoom in here a little bit. Swing around. Probably this way. Yeah, that'll work better. What I want to put up here is we are going to build our forever home. We're going to build a nice one. Now, I'll put it in later. I'll get it all oriented the way I want it. But that's the... can we get a little better look at this? Yeah, there we go. It is a pretty nice house. Now, I've got to make sure I don't hit the wrong button. But that's what we're going to build, and that's going to be our home. And it's going to go up in this area here. And then down in the area below, we're going to put a shed. Now, unless something comes out that's better by the time we can afford it. Oops. Let me zoom back out here so we can see what we're doing. It's going to go down in this area, this shed here, like that. But that's a ways down the road. But I'm going to start a contracting business initially. Now, right now, my plan is not to include it as one of the farms. It's just going to be a business that helps us get to the point where we can start building or purchasing our other farms. My thought is I'd like to have a dairy farm, a sheep farm, and then an arable farm. And but you know, things may change. 3 years is a long time. But anyways, what we're going to do is start with a contracting business that deals with grass contracts. A few reasons for that. One is you can see we have some grass available here that we could mow and sell, turn into silage and sell. So that'll net us a little money. Two is there's 3 cuttings of grass typically every year, and the processes are broken up now. You have baling contracts. I've seen wrapping contracts. There's mowing contracts. Now, I don't know if there's tedding and or windrowing contracts, but that should give us a number of contracts to get started with. But this property here and the grass on it was the biggest reason I thought I'd start with grass. Now, we can do other contracts as well and borrow the farmer's equipment, but the equipment we invest in initially is going to be for grass work. Now, I don't think, from what I've seen, that you get to keep any of the bales or anything when you do baling. So the grass contracts are not going to be as lucrative as they once were. I think you're just going to get the revenue from the contract, and that's it. Now, speaking of which, we should probably go in and check contracts. I haven't really done so. Fertilizing, harvesting, hoeing. Fertilizing, that's something we could do, because you can invest in a fertilizer spreader for not too much money. I haven't really figured out what these times are, if that's in-game time or real-world time. I'm not really sure. Haven't really looked into it, and I haven't watched a whole lot of content. I haven't seen anybody else explain that either. But we may grab that. But you know what we should do also is, I haven't looked at used equipment. What the heck have we got? Oh, that's useless. That is not useless, but that's not really what I wanted. I'm pretty sure that's just, let's look at the details on that. Yeah, it's just a straight round baler. Yeah. Not exactly what I was hoping for. Oh, one thing else to mention while we were up here. I am going to put that house, start that construction project fairly soon. And I'm going to pick one of these trees. Maybe this one here, because I think this is starting to run uphill over here. Yeah, it is. So if we took this tree out here, it would allow us to put in a larger shed. So I'm going to see if I can cut that tree down at some point and take it. Now, will I need to own the sawmill? I guess I will need to own it. I think there's a cheap one that we can add and put on our property. Anyways, to turn it into materials for our houses, I was going to say, and to see if we can actually log those trees. Because as I said in my other Let's Play, you can see there's lots of those nasty to log trees, but not very many of the easy to log trees. Actually, are there any up in this area at all? Yeah, I don't see any. So that's something I'm going to do as well. So I'll report back on that at some point if I was successful or not. All right, I think it's time to go shopping. Let's do that. So I want to buy a truck, and I want to buy this truck here. It's not that much money, but it has the advantage. It's a flat deck, so I'm going to assume we can straps on it, and that we'd be able to haul bales and or our logs. So I thought it might be kind of handy, and there's a trailer hitch on it. Now, I haven't gone and looked, but I was hoping there was a lowboy trailer that we could put a skid steer on, and we use that to load bales on here, and then we could unload them, like at the BGA, for example, our silage bales. So, actually, you know what? A guy should probably, before we go too crazy, is there a low loader section? No, there is. Let's just check. Not a lot to choose from right now. I mean, that'd be the only thing right there. Flatbed trailers, but I don't think, yeah. That's not going to work. Nothing there. But you never know. A mod may come out before we actually need it. Yeah, I don't see any place else that we might have a trailer. Anyway, hopefully that works out. Where's our trucks again? We're going to buy it anyway. And you know, I think that just the way she comes will work just fine for me. So let's buy that. And let's go back one more. We are going to buy ourselves, no surprise. Actually, you know what? That is cheaper. Oh, but there's no front link on it, yeah. So we're going to buy this John Deere, even though it's a little bit more money, but it's got a front link so we could do a double mower setup on it. And let's, we'll go Continentals, wide and weights. I don't think we'll put a front loader attacher. Like I said, I'd like to get a skid steer. It's the old tried and true John Deere. 75 grand. What are we down to? 278. All right. And now I had my eye on a baler. And balers right here. And it's this one here because it bales and wraps. So we could make silage bales quite easily. Yeah, the only downside, it only makes one size of bale here. But we're going to put the bale in turner on it because our land is pretty steep. Tires. Yeah, we'll do those. Oh, that's the same plate. You know what? I don't think in the US you would need to put a plate on there. So we're going to do that. And we're going to buy that. All right. And so what that leaves us 162,000. All right. Well, I'll hitchhike back to the store. Wink, wink. And let's grab our truck and let's go check out our house that we're going to rent. And we'll just use the home farm sleep trigger when we need to do some sleeping. So I'll catch up with you in just a second. Well, we're back here at the shop, and there is our baling outfit there. Looks pretty sharp. And there's our truck, which is also a pretty sharp looking outfit. Now, I've moved them out of the way here because if we take a look and go in and look at contracts, I was looking to see if any baling ones came up, but look what did show up. A nice, neat thing about the new contract system too is, look here on the map, it puts a nice flashing red circle where you need to go to complete the contract. Not only the location of the field, but also the sell point. So we are going to borrow those items. How could we not? Look at that. All that John Deere stuff, but $17,000? Yes, we'll take that. Thank you very much. Now, there are a couple other harvesting contracts here. This one's $5,000. It's not too bad. Oh, it's the same equipment. Oh, interesting. But I'm still kicking around the idea of maybe taking this fertilizing one. Actually, let's look in the shop. What have we got for options for fertilizer spreaders? Not a whole lot. 25,000. I suppose we could lease that. Well, we'll sit on that. I may end up leasing that if no baling contracts come up, and may take that on. But there is our equipment, very nice, that we have for our contract. So I'm going to get the harvester moved up there. Oh, you know what we need to do before we do that? We should go take a look at our new digs where we're going to lay our head down at night. Let's jump in our truck and do that. We'll go for a little drive here first. Now we'll just stay out of cab so we can see the countryside. Is that not the... Oh no, there's the signal light down there. Okay, so they are working. think, no, not that one. This one up here we need. Oh, we should turn that signal light on. Or off, I should say. Turn this one on. Anybody coming? Yep. Off we go. Pretty nice country out here. Now there are some small fields down by this house where we're going to rent that would be pretty good ones, pretty good targets for starting out. But as you'll see, there's just no place to put any equipment down here. And I think I mentioned it's going to be $1,000 a month, and I'll just lease a piece of gear and return it, and that's how we pay our rent. Now, if I remember right, it's down here. Yes, and just before the bridge here. Windy little dirt road down to the house. There it is, home away from home. Pretty nice place. Now, the cheapest house that we could buy, farmhouse with a sleep trigger, is $55,000. So I can actually rent this for 55 months and I'd break even. So I'm hoping we have our house built long before that time. But it is a pretty nice location. But unfortunately, the house sits on property that we cannot buy, so wouldn't work in the long run anyways. But I just thought I'd show you, that's where we're going to lay our head until our house is built. So I'm going to head back to the shop, and what I'll do is I'll get the combine transported up to the field, and I'll actually set a worker off and let him get started on that, and then I'll bring you back in and we'll take the drive up with the tractor and the trailer. So I'll catch up with you in just a little bit. Well, we're back here at the shop, ready to take the tractor up to the field. Now, I did get the harvester up there and set a worker off, and they are actually waiting to be unloaded. The reason I'm running a little behind here is there was another contract actually on the field, right across the road, and so I took that equipment up there. I thought I'd have enough time to get it up there before the harvester filled up. I was wrong. So we'll run this up there and get them unloaded. Now, interestingly, it's the exact same lot of equipment for that other harvest as the one you saw me pick up. Doesn't hurt my feelings. All the John Deere stuff. But it was another pretty decent contract. I think $5,600, something like that. Now, I checked, it was not the same farmer, so I borrowed the equipment again, obviously. If it was a contract for the same farmer, then I would have tried that trick that you could do in FS25 and use the oh, sorry buddy, didn't see your signal light. Oh yeah, four-wheel drive. I should have my do not hit me lights going. Now you may see Oh, there's a stop sign there, Farmer Murphy. Um, you may see a little stuttering because I did make some changes to the graphics, so the shaders might be reloading. Traffic will overtake you on here if you're slow. That's kind of cool. So we've that field right on the left, and you can see the gear sitting there, and we'll get that worker going here just as soon as we get this one unloaded. Now, obviously, I'm actually recording this the following day. I guess that might not be obvious, but I said that because I changed graphics. Anyways, I had shut the game off and saved it and shut it down. So I'm wondering how it's going to affect this worker here, if I can just start him up and he'll carry on, or if, well, just exactly what's going to happen. I haven't done that before. Stop the game in mid-contract. So, right about there, we'll shut this one off. We can turn the beacons off. And we will jump in here. Fire it up. Now I turned the straw swath on. Normally I don't do that when I'm doing contracts, but I am hoping that we'll get a baling contract on this field come up now that there'll be straw swaths on it. Have absolutely no idea if that'll work, but that was my thinking there. That's why the straw swath is there. Alright, we'll just back her up here a little ways. Yeah, I'm just going to set it off and see what happens. Oh, yeah, looks like it's just going to carry on. No problem at all. Nice. Well, let's run across the field here and get that other harvest going. Oh, it's something interesting. I found a Sleep Anywhere mod that has just recently come out. So we won't need to run to the main farmhouse. We still, like, whenever I spawn in at the start farm because there's not a proper sleep trigger at a rental place. But at least we can sleep. Sorry, I was just checking these trees up here to see if there's any good loggable trees, but no, they all seem to be of that same type. This is kind of the first time I've been up in this area of the map. No, they look like they're all... Is that a... No, even that one isn't. Yeah, I don't see any easy to log trees. Now, I wouldn't mind logging those big guys and, oops, sorry, leaving the bush there and bucking them up. If you got a lot of liters of wood for them, it might be worth the effort, but excuse me, a bit of a frog in my throat there. But if you don't get a lot of wood from them, then it's not going to be worth the time it takes. Let's go out here so we can see. Now, I don't know if it makes a difference, but I try and set the worker off in the direction I'd like them to go around the field, basically the pipe to the outside, because there is no setting for us. Oops, not what I meant to do. Oh, better not run over that crop. My camera, I think, is locked. Yeah, locked to that darn thing. So, can't do anything about it. Anyways, I set them off in the direction I like them to go. Hopefully, so they stay in that direction, so the pipe is to the outside to unload. So, now I do know that the default is 2 headlands, which with that big header is... Oh, you know what? No, oh, stop. I forgot to turn the sauce on. Stop. Stop. Ooh, caught it just in time. Now I'll turn this menu on. That. Perfect. Let's just back up here a little bit again. Don't know if that makes a difference or not, but there. Is it a he or a she? She. There she goes. Alright, well we're going to grab that other tractor and trailer and we'll bring it here in a little better position in the field. I just didn't want to block off this roadway here because I needed the space to get the header on the harvester. But getting my exercise. But this is what it's going to be about here for the next while. It's just going to be contracts. Like I said, I'm hoping that we're going to get a bunch of baling contracts so we can use our own equipment for, and can build up our funds so we can get our first farm on the. Actually, that's a 6R, not a 7R. The other contract was a 7R. Ooh, left turn in reverse. Now, oh, now we're going to freeze up. Or am I going to be? Okay, we'll just hope nothing's coming. Actually, I can't drive like that. I have to jump out. There we go. So we can get that view. Don't know why it's doing that. It's just sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't, and it doesn't seem to matter what vehicle it is. It's totally independent of the vehicle. I gotta think it's a glitch with FS25. There. So I'm thinking for the first farm, I'd like to save up the money and buy the start farm because it's got almost everything we need. Only I'm thinking I'm going to make some changes and make it a sheep farm. So I'll check with Rusty though if that's all right. If you can do that, or if you have to actually build your farm from scratch. I was thinking of using mostly the existing farms and then modifying them and to meet the criteria, but I haven't really checked with Rusty on that if that's allowable or if we actually have to do a farm build, but who knows. I said that's a long ways away, and maybe we can do that for two of them, and for the third we could do a completely fresh build or something. Just not a lot of land to do a fresh build on. You pretty much have to buy a field and convert it to a farmyard, I think. Unless there's another spot, kind of like where we're going to put our house, that we could utilize to start as a farmyard. And you could make a small yard. There's enough space. It's just on a hill where we're putting our house. So that's why I thought it would work good for to put a couple sheds and just use it as a contractor yard to start out with. Well, I should probably run down here, and that's probably close to half an hour, although I'm not really concerned on this about the time at all. It's more about giving you an update and letting you know where we're at on the challenge. And we're at day one, but I thought we might as well show a little farming. Why not? Wonder how full he is, he or she. And I'm going to put my super sprinting legs on. Oh, should make it to the end. That's the only thing, they don't have like a spiral setting, it's just up and down. And so if you don't catch them on the right leg of the trip, then you've got to drive over the crop to get them unloaded. But this is pretty nice, this way this worker setup is. It's going to be make it so I can hammer out contracts pretty quickly. Nice, we're going to be able to get 3 hopper loads in this trailer. My magic number that I like. None of these fields are currently very large. But I did see a video the other day where you can plow them together. So I may look, eventually in the far distant future, look for fields that are close to each other that we can plow together and make some larger fields. But we don't need to worry about that for quite a while. Want to get our yard or our house built and our kind of contractor yard there done first. Now I was going to say, I've never actually tried to unload on the go yet, and I guess that's not going to happen this time either. I assume it works, but I've actually never had the opportunity to do that, haven't harvested a field large enough. Did I not get... Oh, I didn't get that close enough. Oopsie. Amateur driving. Well, I'm going to leave this tractor here because the other one is getting close to being ready. So that's going to be the story of my life on this map. I'm just going to work away, work on contracts, build up the bank account, work on our contractor yard and getting our house built. Probably when that is done is when I'll bring you back in, depending on the timing of that. But at some point in the future, I'll bring you back in for another update. But I think I will leave you there. You're certainly not going to miss a whole lot. And but if you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, I encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, hit that old notification bell. But for this episode here on Riverbend Springs on the Can You Survive FS25 challenge, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.